Hey there, I'm Justin. For the past couple of weeks, I've been working with my MassCyberCenter mentor in creating a multi-intrusion detection system. My idea was to combine Snort, a network intrusion detection system, and Wazuh, a log manager, to try to figure out if there were any keyloggers on a specific and given network. Why would I want to achieve something like that? Well, the attempted goal, the kind of motivation behind this idea, was the fact that keyloggers are just so easy. They're an easy way to steal credentials that allow a hacker into a secure network, into a secure area that they would have never been able to have access before. And it's very difficult to detect in some cases because it looks like the normal user is logging in. It looks like it's a legit login. And that's a problem I want to try to combat. I want to try to figure out a way to see if there are any keyloggers that are trying to steal such credentials on a network, and notify the owners of that network. Um, and on that note, especially in corporate networks, keyloggers are a huge problem. If you have keyloggers on corporate computers, corporate networks, it allows them to have access to that type of data, which can lead to more crucial data, more private data that hackers can access, which is never a good thing. And so that's why the question that I came here today to ask and answer is, would analyzing network data be a good way of detecting the presence of such keyloggers on a network? And so that's what we're going to be looking at here today. Really quickly, just going over the basic stuff of the keyloggers that I'm looking at here today. I'm looking at keyloggers that use a public drop zone. So essentially some sort of online service that looks okay and is used for sharing data. But the keyloggers are using this to send and share malicious data that the hacker can later come to and go retrieve without any suspicion. And such sites are easy to get around firewalls and stuff like that. So these are an interesting application to look at. All right, so now that we've looked at that, I'd like to switch over to the setup and what I'm doing in terms of how I set up my machines. So if you look at this diagram that I created over here, we have three machines on the bottom. We have the normal PC that the corporate user or normal user or whoever it is using. We also have Snort to the side, and we have Wazuh to the other side. So what's happening in my specific setup, and I think what a better setup would be, is to just directly have things go through the firewall. But what I'm doing here is I'm routing packets from the Windows machine in the center here over to the machine Snort on the left. And it goes into the Snort machine and it goes to the Snort, and we can manipulate stuff in there. We can look through packets and stuff like that. On the right here, we have Wazuh. And what happens is that on the PC, there's a Wazuh agent that's sending data to the Wazuh log manager, and it sends a bunch of the Windows log information and other things like that. And then we obviously have the network firewall here, and then the cloud, which the PC on the network is communicating with. Um, so with that, I'd like to show you the specific virtual machines I'm using. So I put three virtual machines on a VMware ESXi server that I'm running. And the first one is the Windows PC. It's just a Windows 10 machine over here. On the bottom left, we have a Kali Linux machine, and it is running Snort for us. And on the right, we have a Ubuntu machine, and that is running Wazuh server for us. And just to recap, on the Windows machine, there is Wazuh agent running in there. So looking at the Wazuh log manager, the agent on the machine sends data, and this is just an example of the Wazuh page. You can go to this and you can look at every desktop, every machine you have registered on there. It could be Windows, Linux, or whatever it is. And as you can see here, I have my Windows machine. If you click on it, you can see more details. It'll show you logs of the system. You can programmatically go back in and analyze some of these and potentially use it to look at keyloggers. So the second part of this project was Snort, and it's a network intrusion detection system. It allows you to analyze packets, block them, drop them, etc. And here's the configuration file that you can use to drop some of the keylogger packets and try to detect a keylogger on the system. So in conclusion, I would say that this does have future potential and is a pretty viable idea. There's definitely many more things I need to look at this project, and I'll continue to look at. But overall, I think that using a network intrusion detection system to root out keyloggers is an amazing idea.